Now, on WISN 12 News.
The governor is closing all Wisconsin schools next week.
This has been a lot of sleepless nights.
How Milwaukee public schools plan to keep kids learning and fed.
A cluster of cases is emerging in one county. 12 News asks, what is going on?
March Madness turned into sadness.
It's going to be a big step in my life.
How a top local player is now taking an early look at the future.
And the politics of pot. 2.5 months after Illinois legalized marijuana, the new turf war growing over weed. First tonight, the coronavirus outbreak impacts everyone everywhere.
It's been another day of decisions that shatter our sense of what normal life is like. One of those major decisions came today from Wisconsin's governor. He's ordering all K-12 schools in the state to close. The mandated closure begins Wednesday at 5 p.m. Schools will stay closed until at least April 6th. Milwaukee Public Schools, along with Kenosha and Racine Unified, will all close Monday. Just hours ago, Milwaukee's public school superintendent answered questions about the closure.
12 News' Caroline Reinwald joins us live now. Caroline, what is the plan for students over the next 4 weeks?
Well, that is now 76,000 students who will not return to MPS schools until Monday, April 13th. One of those weeks is already a previously scheduled spring break. But for the other 3 weeks, students are going to be expected to perform schoolwork and keep up with the curriculum. Milwaukee public schools will close for the next 4 weeks, starting Monday morning.
This has been a lot of sleepless nights, and this has been something that we have been totally immersed in for the last month.
Superintendent Dr. Keith Posley says students will still be expected to continue their academics. MPS has set up 20 stop, grab, and go locations around the city where families can pick up instructional materials daily from 11 to 1, as well as a prepared lunch and breakfast for students who rely on school meals.
It will be day to day, but we are going to be providing packages of work. You know, someone may take a package, it may take a little time to complete. However, we will have new materials and things there on a daily basis.
Posley says students will not need internet access to finish the prepared assignments. The district says they're working with a number of community services to provide transportation to the sites if needed. They do not have an option, though, for families left without childcare.
Well, Caroline, what about faculty and staff? Will they be paid during this time?
I asked the superintendent that. He doesn't have an answer yet. He said they're going to be working on that plan over the weekend. He says for now, they're focused on getting students the instructional materials they need so they can keep up with the curriculum, especially for their seniors who are hoping to graduate in the spring, Patrick.
Caroline Reinwald reporting live at MPS headquarters tonight. 20 schools around the city are designated as distribution locations for meals and learning materials for MPS families during the shutdown. We have a link to the complete list online right now on the WISN mobile app. As many as 20 local school districts announced earlier today they will shut down as soon as Monday. That's before the governor's Wednesday deadline. Closings could last for up to 4 weeks. We're scrolling that information you see right there on your screen. The Merton School District closed today because of a possible case of coronavirus. A person in the school community is being tested. Workers cleaned the primary and intermediate schools today as a precaution.
The number of confirmed cases in Wisconsin spiked today to at least 19. And new tonight, the Milwaukee Health Department reports the first presumptive case in the city. Health officials say the patient is a female between the ages of 30 and 35 who is currently isolating at home. We're told she recently had contact with someone diagnosed with coronavirus. Experts call this case presumptive because they're still waiting for confirmatory testing from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Another confirmed case in Milwaukee County involves a man who recently traveled to Europe.
The affected individual returned from international travel, received notification that he was exposed while abroad, and immediately self-quarantined himself at home.
12 News' Derek Rose is live in the studio now with what we know about the state's other cases.
Yeah, Patrick, we put them all here on the map so you can see on this monitor. We have one in Pierce, Waukesha, and Racine counties, 2 in Milwaukee County, as well as 3 in Sheboygan County, 5 in Dane County. But the big number we're focusing on is the 6th right there in Fond du Lac County. That number tripled from the previous day. And we wanted to know from state health officials if they've been able to pinpoint why the number is so high in that county. Here's the response.
That's up from 2. I know that's only 4 cases, but do you think there's a reason why? Was somebody having multi-contact?
Yeah, those are the precise things that are under investigation right now. And because Fond du Lac is the county that has the most cases, we are in communication with them throughout the day to understand those issues.
The health department also pointed out cruises to Egypt. What's the concern there?
Well, they say if you've been on a cruise to Egypt and you're showing symptoms, they want you to call your health provider immediately to get a test. If you're not showing symptoms and you were on one of those cruises, they still want you to call your local health department. In both of those cases, they say those people should self-quarantine. Now, if you haven't been on a cruise, but you've been in touch with someone, close contact, who has been on one of those cruise ships, they say you too should quarantine and call your local health department.
All right, Derek, thank you for that information.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency.
With that announcement, President Donald Trump announced $50 billion in public and private resources to fight against the outbreak. A big part of the president's plan is a new FDA-approved test for the virus and making them widely available. The FDA gave drug maker Roche the green light to fast-track a new coronavirus diagnostic test. The company has a location in Madison. President Trump says the fast approval will allow for an additional 1.4 million tests to be ready by next week. 5 million more, he says, within a month.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi expects the House tonight will pass a bipartisan coronavirus relief package. President Trump tweeted his support for the bill. It'll give some Americans paid emergency leave and offer free coronavirus testing. On Wall Street, stocks bounced back after big losses this week. The Dow Jones closed up more than 9%, a gain of nearly 2,000 points. It is the Dow's biggest ever point gain. Despite today's rise, the market still closed in negative territory for the week. Milwaukee's Archbishop is giving Catholics a pass on Mass for the next few Sundays. While church can be a place of refuge in trying times, health officials are advising against large gatherings of people. So Archbishop Jerome Listecki is granting a dispensation for the next 3 Sundays, essentially making attendance at Mass optional.
It's embedded in many of us, this aspect of attending Sunday Mass. So what I want to do, especially for those who are up in years, to alleviate that burden of the obligation.
Even if it's not at Mass, the Archbishop wants the faithful to feel comforted by God's presence in a difficult time.
The run of the latest Broadway show at the Marcus Center has been postponed. Officials announced tonight the play, slated to open next Tuesday, will not. It's called The Play That Goes Wrong. The PAC is asking people to hold on to their tickets as the situation develops. Discovery World 2 announced all events and public programs are canceled. It's closed starting tomorrow, hoping to reopen April 1st. The high school winter sports season comes to an abrupt end.
Stephen Watson joins us now. Stephen, the news came late last night.
Yeah, just minutes after the conclusion of the first day of the girls' state tournament and boys' sectionals. With the NBA on hiatus, the NCAA tournament canceled, the writing was on the wall, but it still caught the best high school teams in the state off guard, wondering what could have been this March. March is supposed to be about the madness, the gold balls, the lifelong memories, pandemonium, silenced by a pandemic.
It don't even feel like March, to be honest.
This one it just feels really weird.
Nothing could prepare Brookfield Central and Nicolet for March sadness.
It kind of broke my heart a little bit, not knowing that yesterday was going to be my last game, not only with Nicolet, but with my brother.
For our team to work so hard this year and like all the work we put in, you know, it kind of sucks.
The game ends and you know your fate. There's not much you can do about that. But in this situation, it was kind of just like an unexpected hammer to drop.
Just a game away from back-to-back trips to state, coronavirus ends their chance to defend their titles.
That was devastating.
It feels like a loss, even though their last game ends in a win. But sports cliches,
you guys take it one day at a time. You never know when the game can be taken away from you.
Work in life.
You can only control what you have control of. And this is something we don't.
For these teams, and for all of us.
It's heartbreaking, but it's all being done for the better purpose of things.
To the NBA now, and this is what it's all about. Giannis Antetokounmpo doing his part for the community, tweeting today, "It's bigger than basketball, and during this tough time, I want to help the people that make my life, my family's lives, and my teammates' lives easier. Me and my family pledged to donate $100,000 to the Fiserv Forum staff. We can get through this together." That's an MVP.
Giannis is someone who I think has always wanted to do the right thing and be a leader, and has always kind of looked out for people other than himself. As always, we follow our captain and want to make sure that not only we're supporting his efforts, but that we're also supporting those who make this building run.
And it was just announced that Chris Middleton is also donating $100,000. The Bucks plan to match those donations and any others made by their players.
Great. So we're already up to $400,000.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Our coronavirus coverage continues later in this newscast. All of our breaking updates are scrolling at the bottom of the screen, as well as the latest closings. We are also constantly updating WISN.com and the WISN mobile app. Weather Watch 12 now. It's been a windy day.
Meteorologist Lindsay Slater is in tonight for Mark. Lindsay, this weekend won't be as warm as last weekend.
It won't, but at least I am talking about the potential of some nice sunshine. It's not going to be, we're not going to really have any big weather systems on the way. The wind is still picking up pretty good right now in Milwaukee, out of the north and west, about 21 miles an hour, but it has really died down from what we had earlier today. Some areas gusting almost up to 40 miles an hour. Live look right now at our Jilly's Car Wash Cam in Brookfield. Temps near 38 degrees, and the airport looks pretty good right now. We're still hanging on to the low 40s. Huge weather system down to the south. I'll let you know how this could impact our weather this weekend. That's coming up next.
And there is good news to report tonight during this coronavirus outbreak,
including a good deed involving a trip to a grocery store.
She told me she'd been sitting in the car for nearly 45 minutes before it arrived, waiting to ask the right person for help.
Next at 10, what that woman did to help a couple in need.
Internet access for families stuck at home during the outbreak, how you can get connected for free.
Plus, the politics of pot, the new fight to stop new dispensaries from opening in Illinois.
And a tornado's fury. See the moment it tore through a Nashville neighborhood.